Hello everyone, this is Matthew and welcome to another one of my video diaries. This is a Sunday, June 15th. I think yes, I was getting the date wrong and then I forgot it was Sunday and not Saturday. And yes, so it's Sunday, June 15th, Father's Day. I'll be seeing my father later. I'll be wishing him a happy Father's Day. Today is, this volume is volume 16. And in general, I'm going to say that this last week was good. I mean, I had some issues, but it was in general good. Um, I had a, I didn't write at all during the week. I didn't write in the mornings at all. I was very busy with the other commitments that I have. And so I did all my writing last Sunday, and I wrote a fair bit. I wrote 1,443 words. And so that takes me to 30,000 words, which is very good. It's uh, almost at a third of what I need to write. So 30,726 words. So at the same time, I'm not quite sure of that total because I erased some of what I'd already written for that section, and I replaced it with what I'm currently writing. I don't think I erased that much. I think I erased about 400 words, maybe 500 words. Um, but I was going through the narrative of my main character, and it's getting to this crucial part. I'd written a section, and I just felt it was kind of lifeless and dead, so I took that out, and then I had this new section in. And so oftentimes I find that actually does help get me inspired. I'll realize I'm going down a kind of a wrong path, and then once I kind of truncate the section that I'm working on, I'll suddenly get, oh wait, I can do all these other things that I wasn't thinking about. So that's what happened, and it was actually really good. What happened is that I kind of started to develop a voice for this main character, and it's a really important thing. I kind of hoped that it would happen. I think it's very important that all of my characters have voices that are distinct. For my last novel, I mean, I wrote one of the major drafts, and one of my main characters, I didn't yet have a voice for him. And it wasn't until I rewrote it that I found the voice, and I was like, oh, yes, this is how he talks. And that really helped me make decisions about his character, too. I'm going to just say this, it's a little ridiculous, but yeah, for my last novel, one of the characters, I based his voice on Tim Gunn's voice, because I think he has such an idiosyncratic way of speaking that it's a deeply gay. He has such a deeply gay way of speaking, but such a kind of generous way of speaking, and he's bitchy but generous. Like it's such a Tim Gunn is also incredibly self-effacing, but his voice is such a wonderful, beautiful creation. And so when I realized, I was like, oh wait, I could make one of my characters kind of speak like him. I was like, oh, that works so well, and it really developed the character and made him into something a little bit different than I had originally planned. So with this section, I'd started to kind of develop the voice for this character, and so yeah, I wasn't expecting to develop at this point. I do plan to have different voices for each of my characters, but right now I was really just concentrating on the content, trying to get all the details down, figure out what the basic, outline of everything is before I start to figure out, okay, this is how this person speaks, how they're thinking and everything. And the good thing about this voice that I was developing is that I feel like it's very different than the way I currently write, or at least it's different. It's not necessarily very different, and that's exciting to me because I do kind of feel like a lot of the way I'm writing in this book is similar to the way I wrote my last book, which is fine because I really enjoyed the way I wrote in the last book, and I really did feel like it was a strong style and a strong voice. But I was really trying to do something, I'm trying to do something different with this work, and this feels like the first step in that direction. So that's really good. That's an exciting thing to do. So I wrote about 1,400 words. It's really, really raw right now. I just reread it before doing this video, and there's lots of problems with it. But at the same time, there's like the best time in your writing is when you reread it and you're like, this feels mysterious. I don't really know what's going on here or what I was thinking, but it's still appealing, and that's exciting. So to have that in my writing, I'm happy about. But yeah, very raw. And I think the main thing that I'm worried about right now is that I wrote it all on Sunday, and then I didn't really write for the next, well, it's been a week. And I didn't continue practicing this voice, so I'm a little worried that if I try to write it again, I'm going to find it difficult to find that voice again, and I'll find it difficult to replicate what I was doing, or at least continue it. So we'll see. I haven't done any writing today. And yeah, I mean, that's my major concern. And I mean, I didn't do any writing last week because I was so busy with a lot of the work that I have to do, the commitments that I have outside of my writing. But I also, I mean, as I said, I'm really bizarrely decided to write a short story at the same time as I'm doing this first draft. So I managed to finish the first draft. I was like, just finish it, just get it out of the way so you can put it away. And it's basically finished. I kind of have to, the last paragraph needs more content in it, but I'm going to essentially just type it up the way it is now, and then once I've typed it up, I'm going to let it sit there, and then I'll come back to it later when I have time and I can actually think about it in a reasonable way. But now that it's written, I can kind of like let it go and go, okay, I wrote the first draft of a story. It's good. Let's focus on what I'm supposed to be focusing on. So yeah, so that's how I am feeling about the writing. I'm a little concerned about next week because I have not been, because I have been so busy, and I have not been able to focus on writing every morning as I should. And so we'll see. We'll see how it goes. And I'm definitely in the middle doldrums of this novel, of the, who is going to care, who is going to read this, why am I even bothering kind of feelings about this. But I know that this is just a natural feeling produced by my inner critic telling me to stop working. So I have to just ignore it and keep on working. I had to watch a really terrible gay movie last night. A friend of mine does a podcast called Bad Gay Movies, and I was on it this morning. And to do it, I had to watch this movie called 29th and Gay. And it was incredibly terrible. It was really bad. It did make me feel a little worried as I was watching it, because the movie was a narcissistic kind of wish fulfillment. It's all about this really schlumpy guy who is like, nothing's going right in his life, but then he suddenly bags this super hot guy, and then the movie ends, and you're kind of like, I don't even understand what that movie was about. So as I was watching it, I was like, oh, you know what? Is this what people think when they read my book? Like, are they going, oh, this is exactly what he's doing. He's doing the same thing. He's just doing some narcissistic thing that people are not going to care about because it's just his own little wish fulfillment. So, I mean, that did make me a little worried. I do think that my first novel is not wish fulfillment. I really do believe that. And I feel that my first novel I really did mean it to be strange. I hope it is strange. I hope it is odd and idiosyncratic and itself, and I think that was a big problem that I had with this movie that I saw, was that it was trying so hard to be generic. Like, it was trying hard to be universal, I suppose, but it was just ending up being generic. And in its attempt to be generic, it was revealing how weird the writer slash main character was, because when you try to be normal and then you show how weird you are when you're normal, that shows how weird you are, right? So I hope that, I mean, I've had positive feedback for my book, so I should put some of this out of my head, but I'm I do worry that um, I do worry about this, and I just hope that my own book is it's self-consciously strange enough that it is itself. That's all, I think all I can say really about it. In terms of books, I did not read anything really this week. I have been working a lot. I was finishing writing that short story on the streetcar, so I apparently don't read on the streetcar. And I haven't felt the urge to really read anything recently, so I mean, that's partially the reason. I do need to get back to reading and getting back on that reading train. I think I might read my friend Euphemia's book because it is my friend and I should read it, and also because it's fairly short, so I can uh, just read it and then be able to like get back on the reading train. But yeah, apart from that, I guess that's all I really have to say this week. I'm a little nervous about what this upcoming week is going to portend for my writing. As I said, I don't know if I've lost the thread of what I was originally writing last week, so I might have to restart or refigure out how to capture that mood again. And I may work too much. I have some commitments this week. I throw an event on the Wednesday, and I have to get some work done for that. So life just gets in the way of all the things you want to do, right? So we'll see. We'll see how things go this week. But as always, if you want to contact me, I would really appreciate it. I love to talk to anyone. You can email me at the email address below in the description box, or you can just post a comment on the YouTube video. If not, just keep watching, and hopefully I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.